Hey, good people, beautiful people, lovely people. This is your host, Neva from the Love Storm Show, and I know it's been quite some time juggling some things in between, as well as taking care of my health. I have some good days and I have some bad days. And at this moment, I'm having an okay moment. So, with that being said, how y'all doing out there? Has anybody been love inspired? Has anybody been motivated by anything the past almost 2 years? It's not been 2 years yet of anything that I have shared. Um, if not, and you're still wondering what it is that you can do to be inspired and come up out of the slumps of finding love or being in love, just hit me with an inbox with a title. And I want to thank those who have been inspiring me as well. Looking forward to coming on, for me to come on the live. So I want to thank you to those especially who's been looking for me and been wanting me to come back on here. Um, I want to share this especially to Miss Eva, um, um, King Handsome, and comedian G Dane. I'm just trying to think of a few people that's been requiring about my coming back on because they have those individuals are very much inspired, and I just want to thank them. I wish I could. Let me see if I can share this out to someone, to a couple people, because they did ask me to tag them in. Um, let's see. But furthermore, I want to say that what's been going on lately, because just like you all be inspired by others, I've been inspired by some other people myself. And one of the greatest is on a spiritual aspect, because it is important. It is really the first thing to do, to accept, to be able to be loved, to be able to love yourself, and to be able to love others. You do have to be certain to rely on God and take all matters and questions and movements with God. So that's the first thing I want you all to know, understand, is to be prayerful throughout things. And then others, such as myself and others that have some information, whether it be from their experience themselves personally or from other people. Um, Whatever information that's being expressed to you all, take what's for you and get rid of anything that's not for you. Because the important thing is to just listen to others, no matter who it is, because you can always pick up a gem when they're expressing and sharing something. All right, thank you, King Hassan, for coming on and inspiring me and asked me to get back on here, as well as Miss Eva. And I appreciate you all's. You inspire me and keep me motivated and going as well. So, one thing was true or false. Question: can a woman know when another woman likes her man? And let's vice versa that as well. Can a man tell or know when another man is interested in their significant other? Yes, especially for women, because we are natured, created with such emotion, the mother tender affection that we have for the earth. Um, we're always in tune. We don't have to see it. We don't have to be in your space just to have connection with you. Um, we can determine that, and sometimes it causes us to, um, oh, am I sure? Am I sure of what I'm feeling or seeing? And yes, sometimes it gravitates us to kind of, pick up a book and be like, I wonder. Yes, so if someone brings to your attention about something, about a matter, um, I think it's a given opportunity that you take that moment to rectify, clear up, stop doing, or whatever it is that's taking place, because you don't want to damage what's for you. Um, and I know a lot of times and things it's like a bad habit, just like we have maybe have a bad habit of eating bad foods, you have to break that. But we definitely want to be careful when we're dealing with other people's emotions and affection, because that puts you on a whole nother plethora of um, heartache. So I was coming across something that was said for ladies. How do you know when you have a good man? How do you know? Well, first of all, the way they love on you is one. The way they support you, your ideas, your dreams, your aspiration. When they motivate you, when they inspire you, when they find a way, sit down and analyze a way that they can help you make your dreams come true. Because you are the breadwinner of emotion and affection. What man would not love to keep being inspired and lifted by that? So he will be motivated just because you are showing endearment, love, and compassion and understanding. Um, when he's sensitive to your needs, when he can love your children as if they're his own, when he supports you financially, when he sees and knows you need things without you even asking. See, a lot of times people do say, well, what do you need? If you really pay attention to your spouse, and this goes either way, vice versa, when you see their needs, a lot of times you shouldn't have to ask them. But unless it's something outside of a need, maybe it's something they just desire or want. Surely and most certainly, seeing and being hand in hand with each other, you can accomplish and be just that. Um, I believe King Hassan used one in about being a star child. Being a star child, also being considered the breadwinner, the person that's just have the knowledge and a big heart um, to master almost anything and make good light of it. That is beneficial for all people. And with that comes the weight of jealousy, hatred, envy, and spiteful from others, especially when it's our family. Why is that? I just say personally, it's just a bad demon, a spirit that they have to deal with. We should not take on the heavy weight of burden of their jealous and envy ways, because at some point, sooner or later, they will bow down and acknowledge. God says He will make your enemies your footstool. That is no lie. That is most certainly true, and it will happen. We don't have to do no. As long as you continue to keep pushing, going through your goals, your accomplishments, you will be setting. You see, what comes with that is that jealousy and envy. What it covers the multitude, balancing out is your strength. You are able to move through swiftly without letting something hunker you down so bad. It might catch you for a moment, but you keep going. Other people, and I've dealt with that too. Other people can be jealous because they don't understand how is it that you keep going through all this stuff, but you're still managing to push through with a smile on your face and you continue to help other people. Those are their own demonic spirits within them, and you have to just continue to be all that you need to be for yourself, because apparently at some point in time this what helps you move through your pains and your hurt is to keep moving. And we have to. This is also the technique I use with love. When love does not work and it fails, okay, I keep moving, because there's nothing I can do for a person that doesn't want to be right or doesn't want to do right. They choose. It's a choice to be the good or bad. It's a choice to be right or wrong. So why should one that chooses to be successful move forward, one that chooses to love, be loved, and receive love? Why should we stop and be swinging our feet in wonderment or blame? Because what happens, people blame, blame, blame. When we take ownership, is something that has failed, because especially in relationships, whether it's work related, personal, what have you, it's just not one person. Nobody does one thing on their own without the assistance, guidance, support, inspiring words alone. We're always motivated by something or somebody. And if something somewhere somebody fails on their part, then they wasn't understanding at full length. Not saying that they were all wrong at some, but they just couldn't go any further. They didn't know how. So start displaying. Um, they start displaying off some past traumas. Okay, and this is why they end up doing the things that they do. That's hurtful. Um, a lot of times it don't have anything to do with you. Again, it's your strength, or you might remind them of someone. Some of us come from homes where male and female are like, where our parents couldn't stand us or didn't like us because of the mate that they chose. That's your decision. I am product of the both. We are product of both the man and woman that came together to um, create us. So you're just hating yourself and you're hating the decisions you made. But should we suffer and be paying for a price of your choice, of your unhappiness? No. That's why for me, I had struggled a long time emotionally when it came to my family because I couldn't understand what it was I was doing, why they always, you know, falling deaf ears on me or leaving me out or laugh at me when they really was I wasn't at their level mentally. I was at a higher capacity. I always been like that even as a younger child because I saw things and understood things way past my time at the time. Now that I'm older, I'm able to understand and put those words into perspective. So, though it hurts being a black sheep in the family, it's also a good thing too because we have the opportunity to lead. Whether someone wants to follow or not, that's on them. We just got to keep moving because yes, there's other people out there that's going through the same thing that needs to know how to push through. What can they do to push through and continue to be the positive black sheep of the family? And I'm not going to change who I am to satisfy someone that's continuously to bring me grief, heartache, and pain. It doesn't matter who it is. We give people opportunity. Some have an opportunity at times to get one more chance than another. And that's just because of the spirit or something. You see something deeper within. But sometimes when you see people for who they are, what they present to you is always stated. That's who they truly are. But sometimes when you're looking at things on a spiritual aspect, you can see things a little bit more clear and really able to determine if it's something that this person just straight out rightfully does because that's who they truly are, or is it because someone really, really, truly is in some pain. We can tell when there's jealousy involved. You can tell when someone just want to see you hurt. They don't want you to have anything. Because I can say this too. I experienced every time someone wants to bring me nice gifts or anytime someone gives me good praise, there was always somebody right there to kind of take the light from me or to say, why are you giving her this? I want it or this and that. And I always been the type to just step back, okay? But I'm in a season now where God has allowed me to be, and nobody can take that away from me. I didn't realize my power is until I got older, till I really started speaking up. And my powers is the words that come out of my mouth. The power is the love that God allowed me to have because he's always protected me. I know and believe he's always protected me since I was in my mother's womb because I've been going through crazy things my whole life since I noticed at the age of 8. So I'm saying all this to just say we all go through some things and have all gone through things. We can push through. We have to drop off the dead weight of people because they holding us down and want to hold us back because they not able to do. Just watch how the ants come up out of an anthill, how they climb on each other's back. They're in support. At least you see they working together. The reason they ride on somebody's back. Because here in that aspect, in the physical, that means we will share information. If we share information on how to help another person up, yes, you're riding the back of another. But as you're riding their back and getting insightful information to help you, you are not putting them down. You will always acknowledge them and say thank you. Whichever way you can share and express your appreciation, be always grateful because there's nobody but God, because God do put people in our places, in our spaces to help us. And he also put people in our spaces and places to show us what goes on around them. that's not beneficial to them. And it could be a lonely road. It's a lonely road sometimes, but I'd rather be on a straight, narrow, lonely path of righteousness, goodness, to be able to receive the blessing, because all your hard work will not go unnoticed. It is not in vain because God sees it. So when we continue to love, when you do things in love with love, God sees it. He's going to reward you. He will always make a way. We go through seasons of things, seasons of ups and downs, of seeming like confusion, but don't let that confusion fool you, because that's nothing but the devil to try to throw you off, to make you question yourself, to make you question who you are or what you try to become, because he sees where the level God can take you. So he's always aware of that. So he will always try to throw something in the midst to throw you off, you know. Um, I want to express for the support of men, women. When you see you have a partner, spouse, man, husband, and you see he's hardworking, you know it positively is certain. Don't allow some past trauma, I speak to myself as well, that we experience interfere. Because what happens, we be placing him and going against him, just as the world, because outside the home, the man deals with a whole lot. I know they deal with a whole lot more than what they tell us. And the reason they don't tell us a lot of things because they don't want to feel like they're burdening us, which I think, it depends on how much that man can communicate to you. Depends on how you communicate with him, even on that daily aspect level. If it has nothing to do with his outside world, he sees and acknowledges and watches how you deal with people, how you talk to people, to determine how he will be able to communicate with you. See how much he can express and share to you. And yes, as women, we're emotional. So things be said, things happen that put us in the emotional guards up. So men need to understand that as well, that women, we go through emotional thing and we have to put our guards up. Our first reflex, we are to listen. So myself even want to practice more to stop and just listen, ponder over it, and try to retract and express and address the situation at another time. But because we're human, we quickly to jump off it's just something, especially if it's something hurtful, because that's where communication comes in. Because if we're all communicating honestly at a full, and things come up and things are being addressed, it won't seem so shifted. Therefore, still be supportive and expressing your love to your mate, to your companion, to your spouse, to your significant other. Because remember, we're not judging. We cannot judge, shall not judge another. We all went down different paths of life. And one of us are more wiser in some aspect than the other. So let's gain wisdom from each other. Let's sit down and speak in calm tone to each other. And one thing I want to acknowledge, my husband, I appreciate him because even when I speak in a, what's that? What are you doing? He remains calm. And because he's calm, he just looks. I look at that as a calm down, go retract yourself and relax. And I will come back. And if I tell me if I said something wrong, I apologize. So my biggest kudos is to him because he helps me. I've never seen anybody have that much patience with me. Not saying that I'm a loud, erratic person, but I do get fed up and worked up about a lot of things. And I need to, as any of us, have to learn to separate. Dealing with children, dealing with the outside world, dealing with work life, we all have that, but we all still come together, want to try to be able to lean on each other because we need to lean on each other to be able to get that support that we need with each other, because it goes a long way. Open communication. When we are addressing, when we are addressing each other, you be open, communicate. Because if only one person is always doing the talking, how beneficial is that? It's beneficial in one aspect is because the person is listening and taking in what's being said. We also need to be able to converse in communication to make sure we all have this same understanding, because just because someone says they're listening or they are listening does not mean they can understand to the full capacity of what you're expressing. Sometimes people leave things out because me personally, I might feel like it's an opportunity for something else that may not be pleasing. So I personally would want to understand to complete level as to what's being expressed. Now, don't let others. I'm going to just say this last thing and go, because I said I don't want to make my life too long anymore because I want to keep people's attention. Um, don't let others get in the mix of your marriage. It is written in the Bible that you leave your parents' home and you become one with your spouse. Meaning, what's there is your wife, your household, your home is first over anything and anybody. Um, a lot of people know this biblically, but they will try to play. They will try to play the sympathy card. They will try to play the man manipulation um, to make it seem like, well, I was here first. True enough. But the Bible also says you branch off, you become one in your relationship. So, and that's for those that are married. See, a problem comes in when those that are just in relationships. It's hard to stay faced with that, because what happens is a lot of people know, again, marriage is a commitment. Husband, wife first. But if you are not married, it does cause a problem. It does. It does, because what happens, you haven't made a commitment to this person yet. So how is it that they're going to be confident that you're going to be there for them, and vice versa? So don't let someone else pick and nag at you from keeping your goals, your accomplishments, what's for you. People will try to tear in. I've experienced that. Relationships I've been in, one thing I don't do is let nobody come tell me something or do something that's going to affect a choice. I've heard things negatively, positively, it don't matter. But guess what? For whatever reason, that's one of my strong points. Do not come disturb my peace in my relationship. Because if you do not have a grounded relationship, if you have not had a relationship over 20, 30, 40 years and can give me good advice on, I don't want to hear it. Because if I'm wrong about something, I want to be addressed so that I correct myself. If it's something that's going to give me some wisdom, I want to know so that I know how to continue to grow. But for someone to sit and complain about something because they're miserable in theirs, or they choose not to go on in a relationship and they ain't had in a relationship or marriage in 10, 20, 30 years, there's nothing you can say. I will not let someone come into and disrespect me and my choice of a relationship. Um, it's like my strong point, because I'll be like, I'll cut you off. Because guess what? When it all comes down, yeah, you family. That's your position. Your life is there. Mine's is here. And I'm okay with that. So, guys, make sure you stay supportive of each other, stay inspired and supportive of yourself. Look forward to I'm gonna collab and do some things with some other people as well on the internet. Um, we try to spread ourselves and share ourselves. I have been in the past, as you know, bring people on the platform, setting a schedule with them. That didn't seem to work real well for me, because a lot of people do get busy. So as I come on the lives, if there's a point that I brought out, a point you want to add to and what I'm saying, just ask to be tagged into the live to request to come in. I would like to have some engagement with that with y'all. So with that being said, continue to be inspired, motivated. Let me help you find a positive link to be inspired, to push through, to stay strong. I'm your host, Neva, with the Love Storm Show. Don't stop loving so you don't miss your blessing. Love is everything. Turn it up. So y'all have a good one. Take care.